It is a cold case that has plagued the local family for more than a decade, the murder of Alicia Jackson. Now, Jackson grew up in Harrisburg and then moved to Ohio to pursue a degree in architecture. She went on to get her master's, fall in love, and have a child of her own. But in late 2010, her young life was cut short when she was brutally murdered in her Columbus apartment at the age of 25. Nearly 12 years later, details surrounding Alicia's death remain a mystery. Fox 43's Alyssa Kretz spoke with her family about their unanswered questions and the new hope they have for justice to be served.
Inside this lower Paxton Township cemetery, the body of 25-year-old Alicia Jackson is buried. Just minutes away at his home, Alicia's father recalls the night his daughter was killed.
You keep wondering, how can somebody hate somebody and be evil to that degree that they would take a life, especially in that fashion, and live with themselves?
December 2nd, 2010, 9:20 p.m. Alicia was found dead and covered in blood, stabbed more than 30 times.
I shared that initially with my mother, and I'll never forget the wail from her in the bedroom. Whew, wow.
Alicia's fiance not only discovered her body, he also found the couple's 2-year-old son sitting in his high chair unharmed. The TV was still on, as was the stove, with no evidence of forced entry.
It's one thing to pass away, it's another thing to pass away young, it's another thing to be killed, but it's another thing to be stabbed in the way that she was stabbed, and then to ice the cake, stabbed in front of her most prized possession.
When Alicia was killed, her younger brother Trevin lost one of his biggest supporters.
And I wanted to call her, I wanted to text her, and I expected her, I almost subconsciously expected her to be there when I was going back home for her funeral, and I had to keep telling myself that, no, this is her funeral you're going to.
Now in his 30s and living in North Carolina, Trevin is finally able to bring himself to talk about his sister's death.
Definitely the most difficult day I've ever went through.
Alicia was a graduate of Central Dauphin East High School. She was loved by many, voted homecoming queen, and most likely to impact the world.
You know, you say no one's perfect, and I'm not, obviously she wasn't perfect, but as close as perfection as you can get, she was.
She moved to Columbus to pursue a degree in architecture at Ohio State University. Alicia's cousin Shantae says that's where she met and fell in love with her fiance, Eugene Wilson.
Like, they were happy, so I didn't, at that time I was young also, so from what I knew love was at that time, it was love to me, so I didn't think or have any second guessing like this wasn't a right situation.
After Alicia became pregnant, she learned Eugene had been unfaithful, fathering a child with another woman.
There was a rough patch, but she did ultimately decide to get through that, and she decided to move forward.
The couple patched things up and planned to relocate to Texas, but shortly before they were set to move, Alicia was murdered.
I don't want to imagine what it would have been like to see her in the scene, the crime scene itself. From what I'm hearing, that it was just blood everywhere.
Autopsy reports revealing Jackson was stabbed more than 30 times in her head, face, neck, chest, and arms.
It takes a coward to shoot somebody, but to stab somebody that many times, you have feelings inside of you, feelings of rage, feelings of anger.
Through years of investigation, no charges have been filed and no suspect or person of interest has been publicly named. Columbus police also confirm Alicia's fiance is not a suspect at this time. Retired Detective Steve Epper led the case. While he did not respond to our request for an interview, he recently spoke about the murder on a podcast with students of an Ohio high school. He asked what they gathered from the way Alicia was killed.
That it was very personal, very like hate driven.
Right.
There's a lot of anger.
Which would usually indicate
That she knew the killer.
right.
Columbus police say the investigation remains open and active. Meanwhile, the Jackson family remains optimistic justice will be served.
They can't keep walking life and not feel any type of justice or not feel the consequences for what they did.
Hoping someone somewhere knows a piece of information which will lead police to Alicia's killer.
Word of mouth is all we have. We're not going to find that knife. We're not going to find Alicia's laptop and phone that were stolen from her townhouse that time. We're not going to get a confession at this point.
And give them some semblance of closure about her death.
And I remember sitting on a bed in one of the other bedrooms, and I had this this vision of Alicia fading off into the distance. And she said, "Goodbye, Daddy, I'll see you soon." I haven't told a lot of people that, but it was final as far as I'm concerned in terms of her being here on this earth.
Alyssa Kratz, Fox 43 News.